Hello, and welcome back to Nox Corvus Gaming. Today we're talking need-to-haves in Anthem. All the sooner-than-later stuff that would make the game even more fun. Number one on the list is communication systems. One of the biggest issues right now is communication. The game defaults to VoIP on, but the system is currently vastly underutilized. Personally, I like to have it turned off, because there's a limit to how many times I can have a prepubescent kid tell me I suck at video games. Other recent titles have shown great communication systems without text or VoIP chat. The chief example on everyone's mind is Apex Legends. Apex, which released just weeks before Anthem, had a very well fleshed out and intuitive ping system for highlighting items and alerting teammates. A system very similar to this would be incredibly beneficial to Anthem, even in a watered down state, especially in areas such as free play, but more on that later. Number two, stats. So while your typical shooter game doesn't have or even need stats, Anthem is a shooter-looter, and stats are essential. Anthem has great complex and deep systems for min-maxing all those masterwork and legendary pieces, but it's much harder to do without a menu to see what your base stats are and how all those orange and yellowish, greenish items modify them. Somewhere in the Forge, we need to have an overlay with Javelin stats. There's actually an excellent post currently by Reddit user Matthias MDE, which shows a great example of a fantastic user-designed overlay. If BioWare was to implement something similar to this, players would be incredibly happy. Number three, free play improvements. Yes, this is a very broad category, but in a game that encourages team play and working together to the point of madness occasionally, it drives me crazy to think of how hard it is to find anyone else in free play. I'm going to break this category down into several of the biggest and most important improvements we need to see in free play. The first improvement I would like to see in free play is broadcasted world events. Anthem is a beautiful game, and I could really get lost in it for hours just flying around, looking at all the scenery and picking up crafting materials. But at the end of the day, we're out there for a reason, and sometimes it's hard to find world events. Also, unless you're being assisted by a fellow freelancer, more on that in a moment too, or really know your way around the world, there's a real chance that you could end up jumping into a world event, dying, having to respawn, and then having no idea where you actually found that world event in the first place. That's just one of the reasons why I think we need to see world events on the actual world map. Second on the list of free play improvements is more freelancers and free play servers. No matter your feelings on free play, I think we can all agree that it can feel a bit lonely sometimes. Sure, you might happen to bump into the odd Lancer while flying around looking for world events or crafting materials. Chances are higher, though, that you spend most of your time alone, or chasing down another freelancer to do missions with, just to see them leave free play as you finally catch up with them. Throw another 4 guys in there. Make the area a little more populated, a little easier to find that buddy to enjoy your co-op experience with. Number 3 on the list of free play improvements is Waypoint Markers. In a game like Anthem, with large, open, explorable areas where your goal is to roam around looking for random events, there should be some sort of markable waypoint system. This exists already in contracts where you're shown where to go via floating blue arrows. This system would be incredibly beneficial during the Outlaw or Ash Titan world events, where players had to head to specific locations to accomplish goals, or when completing open world missions. Number 4 on the list of free play improvements, quick travel areas or fast travel to freelancers. So there are a few areas to drop into free play, which has advantages and disadvantages. When you load up, if you have my luck anyway, you will have chosen the strider that is as far away from anyone else as possible. Then you will spend the next 10 minutes flying around, trying to catch up with one of these other guys in free play so you're not alone doing world missions, and then they leave. You wait a few minutes, and some more people join into free play, but they are back where you originally loaded in, and you are still just as alone as ever. Well, as an option to solve this, why not allow quick travel between striders, or even offer an option to quick travel between other freelancers in free play? This adds some much needed convenience to the area and helps you join up with other players faster. My final game improvement is a test range. This one is a nice quality of life improvement, sort of like the social hub. Ideally, part of the Forge, an addition of a test range would be great so we can have a place to test out all of our different gear configurations, hopefully with minimal load times, in ideal circumstances. A few target dummies huddled together to test the range and effectiveness of AoE attacks, one large target to practice aim or to see the raw power of your attacks, The best part is that it doesn't even have to be as big or complex as the social hub. And knowing how fast they implemented that change, this should be something that's at least not too difficult to do. So that's my list of need to have items in Anthem. Do you agree with the items on my list? Do you have anything you want to add? Let me know in the comments below the video. And while you're down there, don't forget to give it a like if you like the video and subscribe if you want to see more. Catch you in the next one.